ask you to not touch anything. Got some projects in the works down here. I wasn't expecting guests. Oh, and Lou mentioned how you took care of the debt. Managed to negotiate it down to something more reasonable. Good to see someone give the trade authority a bit of their own medicine. All queued up. Let's gaze into this abyss, shall we? All right, just get those cellular markers tagged. Wait, where are the markers? This can't be right. This sample, it's Londinian. I'll need to get this all in a slate. Adrian really gave you this sample. You're not lying to me? Because if you told me this was a hoax, and it'd be the best damn fake I've ever seen, I'd be mad and very, very relieved. Can't just humor an old man, huh? This sample, it's got all the indicators of the worst Terrormorph attack in human history. I presume you've heard of Londinian. It was a city wiped completely off the map by Terrormorphs. The swarms were so bad, they had to blow the spaceport and seal the place off from the galaxy at large. Not a lot of samples made it off the world from the time of the attack, but the ones that did, well, they look just like this one. I didn't detect any of the telltale signatures this specimen ever sat on a ship while it was alive, either. I don't think it was transported to Talsetti. This specimen, it grew there, faster than any Terrormorph should. Which means, if we're about to start a new era in human-Terrormorph relations, where big, sudden Londinian-style attacks can happen outside Londinian, that's not gonna end well for humanity. So, you lugged this bad omen all the way here. You wanna tell me what your plans are for it now? The circle, huh? Could use a drink about now. Here, faster we take the lift to the surface. Not supposed to use it, but given the circumstances, I'm inclined to just ask forgiveness. Let's get going. Is that really her? Adrian.
Percival. My God, look at you. You're an old man now.
You're no hatchling yourself anymore, Major. Our friend here showed me your sample. Suffice it to say...
Not here. Let's talk somewhere more private. Lou said we could use the back. Lou gave me the abridged version of what went down. Yeah, I can't thank you enough for taking care of all that.
Makes two of us.
I hope it ultimately didn't end up being too much trouble. Well, that's certainly not what I was expecting you'd have to go through. But thank you. I'm just glad you both came through intact. So, were you two able to get that workup together?
Got it right here. That sample? It's an exact match for the ones from Londinian.
Londinian. That's exactly what I was afraid of.
Not thrilled to be the bearer of that kind of news. That's for damn sure. So tell me you've got some kind of plan for that workup.
Well, right now, we've got more questions than answers. So I've been trying to figure out what it's gonna take to access our old Terrormorph data.
Good place to start. What'd you find?
It's in the archives.
The Armistice Archives? Doesn't that mean we be dealing with the Cabinet? And the Freestar Collective? And House Varun somehow? Guess we can kiss that approach goodbye.
I didn't think the Cabinet would be willing to hear us out either. but I called in some favors. They've agreed to hear us out on 2 conditions. One, they want to see this analysis you two have procured. And 2, they want to discuss what happened on Tau Ceti with both of us. Well, that's about the best news I've had all day. But before you commit, I want to make sure you know the whole story. Percival and I, we're not just researchers. We were military scientists, ran a division of the UC together that deployed aliens on the battlefield as weapons.
Place I was hiding out. That was our unit's home base.
After some early fits and starts at other facilities, the place eventually became the heart of UC xeno-warfare. A practice that's been banned ever since the armistice went into effect almost 20 years ago. And the UC military cut us loose for what we'd done. Oh, well, that means a lot. It's not something I'm exactly proud of. But it was during that assignment that the UC asked us to explore deploying Terrormorphs on the battlefield. The project never got off the ground, but the data our team gathered is now sitting in the archives, along with all the other information banned after the Colony War. Under the watchful eye of monitors from all the galactic factions still participating in regular politics. But if we can convince the cabinet to help us access that data, it'll give us the tools we need to decipher what exactly this sample might mean. And hopefully, how to prevent more attacks like the one that spawned it. All right. I'm gonna go get this work up into the cabinet's hands. I'll meet you out front of Mast in New Atlantis.
Good luck. You two are gonna need it.
Over here.
Bitch, how did you see me?
The workup's in the cabinet's hands. They said they'll call for us once they've gotten to properly review it. But listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier. So, in the interest of full disclosure, there's one more thing you ought to know before we head up there. My relationship with the UC, it's more complicated than it might seem at first glance. The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place. I am a clone of a man named Francois Sanon, one-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War, former head of the UC Navy. They called him Ve Victus. Woe to the defeated.
Whoa.
Earth Latin. A title he earned. The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds from one of their most respected tacticians. Secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come. He would have happily told you he was one of the greats. Ultimately, though, it didn't matter. The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. The man caused a lot of death on both sides. Freestar Collective and UC. Military and civilians. And the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there. I just wanted you to be forewarned.
Wow, and I thought my family was messed up, bro.
He had his men open fire on civilian ships during the Battle of Cheyenne.
Whoa.
A battle that he ultimately ended up losing anyway, devastating the UC fleet and bringing the colony war to an ugly end for the UC. But he's also the one who ordered the bombing of the Londinian spaceport during their outbreak, condemning countless lives. Both sides agreed the settled systems would be better without him.
Yeah, he sounds like a tough fellow.
I really appreciate you saying that. I just thought you deserved to know, considering how much you've done already. You know, while we've got a second, was there anything else we needed to discuss? I know you got dropped into the middle of this pretty fast. Or if you've got any last-minute business to attend to, now might be a good time. No telling how long the cabinet's
No
gonna keep
business.
us waiting out here.
No questions. Actually, I need to go take care of a few things. I've literally done nothing else. So honestly, what are the risks to success in this data? Any suggestions on what I should say to the cabinet? Are you willing to tell me more about your father? Your eyes, the red, that must be a responsible zoning process. I don't really, yeah, that is.
Then I guess it's just a matter of...
The cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties, please proceed to the cabinet chambers.
Wow, such convenience.
Sounds like our cue. Here we go.
The slow walk. Alright, I get you. Damn, none. Time to go do some investigations.
Ah, welcome. You must be the captain Hadrian mentioned in her report. You have our thanks for the risks you faced in securing this information.
Yeah. Adrian made it clear that addressing this issue required the utmost urgency. Just following orders? Thanks. Don't keep my ship fueled, ma'am.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yes, well, precisely how
Play
urgent
it
is
smart.
what I hope we'll determine here today. So now, we have two petitioners here making a surprising request. Access to the UC Xeno-Warfare Team's Terrormorph data, currently housed in the Armistice Archives.
It's not as bad as you
A
think.
request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all three Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you. Perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor.
We're still trying to figure out what we're facing. We can't make an informed decision without data.
That is something to consider. Though we also have to take into account the nature of the data you require.
Fair enough.
Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting.
Alright, Yassine.
While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, Terrormorph attacks are not some sudden...
Is that
new
Michael?
thing on the
Is
horizon.
that Matthew
They've been
McConaughey?
happening for generations. To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single attack seems at best panic.
I know he's
And
worried,
at
but
worst,
still.
a power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirsty warmonger and her associates.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
I would remind the chief diplomat
Whoa.
who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium. I
Ooh.
would also ask how many deaths the cabinet requires to act. 50? 50,000?
Oh.
Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Spicy.
Let's keep this civil, shall we?
Let's get spicy.
While there should be no doubt, the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties.
Right?
Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data?
What?
I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this Terrormorph seem at all alarming to you?
No.
That is worth considering. This attack took place on an almost completely uninhabited world. The casualties were minimal as a result. But if there's another attack, Will we be so lucky?
Thank you, Logan.
Yes, a fine point, Admiral. So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
That's a dumb question, because obviously I want... The archives are fated to open. Support our cause and do what you know is right. But personally, I would wait. Dude, I don't know. I bet you there'd be more attacks. Starborn it is.
I can't help but agree with the captain. Attempting to open the archives, it seems like the right way forward.
It does.
I
doesn't
just
it?
changed Yassine's mind too.
All right. I withdraw my objection. Let us trust fate.
Thank you, McConaughey.
We were all lucky you were here today, Captain.
You and I are in agreement, Chief Diplomat. So, if there are no other objections, I believe we can agree to give our full backing to make the request to... What was that?
Attention. Attention. An incident has occurred. Facility lockdown engaged.
An incident?
Incident.
What's happening?
There's been an attack at the spaceport. Terrormorphs.
Bro, guys.
Terrormorphs. More attacks. Just as predicted.
God. There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanners somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, the local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Going to take a while to bring them in.
It'll be me.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
We're on it, ma'am. Captain, I'm right behind you. Let's get down there.
Oh.
The EM rifle, grab it!
That's it!
Okay.
Now hit him with everything you got! We're trying to help you! Lights out on them!
What the hell is going on here?
Thank you for what you did. We didn't want to hurt them.
The way those people were acting, I've seen this before. They were under the Terrormorphs' influence, weren't they?
I don't know. They were down at the port and they just started screaming. We tried to restrain them, get them on the train to get them out of harm's way, but some of the other officers down there, we couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just started firing on us. People we knew. They went berserk.
Pheromonic projection. Some Terrormorphs, they can induce this fog. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control, turn against everyone around them, even if they don't want to. They're like a puppet. You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire, and keep that EM weapon at the ready.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Nat's unlocked. Please, do what you can to help them.
He's not using it.
Our experts? We've got the remaining creatures locked down on the landing pad, barely holding our perimeter. They said you've done this before. Well, one fire team to spare and whatever supplies you need, but I can't risk them taking over any more of my men. Put those things down and do it fast. We'll hold them as best we can.
Don't forget to grab your free weapons.
Heard you might be looking for some backup.
Yes.
You two have any experience with Terrormorphs before?
Only the brief they just gave on the way here, but we know how to handle pressure.
Surviving a full-on mental assault isn't the same as keeping your cool in a firefight. Might make you more liability than asset.
We're not UC security. You don't need to worry about us. Roger that. We're on you.
What's up? What's up, big fella?
It's not working. It's never going to work.
Ah, that's trippy as fuck.
This is useless. We've already lost. Let's do this. Hold on. Hold on. Don't let them get me.
What's up, man?
Why did you leave us?
Join us. Join us in bliss.
They're going to turn on you.
This guy's anticlimactic as shit. He's just standing there.
Target down. Nice work, Captain.
Guess they weren't kidding about you two. Universe put the right people in the right place. Certainly doesn't feel like it. I don't want to think what would have happened if you two hadn't been here.
Just glad we could rise to the occasion. Captain, we should report back to the President. Let her know the Terrormorphs have been dealt with. Take care of yourself, Sergeant.
Attention. The spaceport has been secured. Safety precautions remain in place. Please wait for the all clear signal before exiting your homes.
Gotta level up that perk.